Recovery on Air, the official podcast of Crossroads Addiction Rehabilitation. Candid discussion about addiction and recovery with the people who have lived it, along with input from experts on the journey from struggle to triumph. Laugh, cry, and be inspired. And now, your host for Recovery on Air, Christin Day.
Welcome to another episode of Recovery on Air, where we talk about the good, the bad, the miracles. Today, we have Jason Keller on, and I am just super excited to dig into this and just talk, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Christin.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful and happy to be here today.
Absolutely.
This is awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be good. I've been really excited about this one. So we won't get into all the gory details yet, but let's just talk about, like, what was childhood like and everything?
You know, I had a really, what I thought was a normal childhood. Didn't really, in my younger years, experience any sort of trauma. I come from a family with both my mom and dad. There wasn't any divorce. In fact, they're still married today. They've been married for 57 years.
Wow. That's rare.
So it is. I really just, I really don't have much in terms of early childhood, but, as I got a little bit older, I noticed that my mother and my father both, I can't really say that they're alcoholics or anything like that, but I know my mother drank every day.
Gotcha.
Every day she would come home and she would drink, she would crack open a beer. And my father, he smoked marijuana most days. You know, I don't know that it was every day, but it was almost every day.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was normal and that's what people did. They never faced any sort of consequences for any of that. So it's just one of those things growing up where I thought, okay, well, this is what we do. You know, we drink and, we smoke weed.
Smoke a little pot.
And I knew that my parents had sort of dabbled in some other stuff too, but it was never really to the extreme to where I took things.
Gotcha.
So it was just something that I saw as normal behavior. It was something that, I learned as a way to cope with any sort of like adversity or even maybe a good moment, celebrate. Like this is what we do. We have a drink.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's really like my young years and teenage years. I just really thought I was a normal high schooler, party on the weekends, just alcohol and weed. And I didn't seem to think that there was anything wrong with that. But I certainly, when I look back now, I think about it and I'm like, maybe I really had the makings of an addict right away.
Absolutely.
Because I liked the feeling that I got from alcohol. I liked the feeling that I got from smoking weed.
Right.
And I wanted to keep that going. I didn't want to go out and just have fun. My goal was I want to feel this really good feeling that I feel when I drink and I smoke weed. And it also gave me kind of that false sense of security, I guess I'll call it. It's just liquid courage.
Absolutely.
I felt like I was like someone better than me. I wasn't comfortable with who I was.
Gotcha.
I didn't understand that.
You give us a little alcohol and we get a little,
Yeah.
I get
Definitely.
it. So substance, what was your drug of choice?
It started off, my drug of choice was probably cocaine.
Okay.
I got introduced to that, I want to say, right after I graduated high school. I tried some cocaine, but it didn't really turn into anything addictive for quite some time.
Gotcha.
But that was initially my drug of choice, and it eventually, somehow it just evolved into meth.
Okay.
It went from snorting cocaine to smoking cocaine, and then it was sort of like smoking regular cocaine somehow. I forget, just maybe just smoking straight cocaine. And then it became, how do we, let's get into crack.
Absolutely.
And let's smoke crack. And that was really just, it makes me uneasy just to think about it.
Yeah.
But crack was a constant thing. Like when you get into crack, I have no control over the next hit. Like once I take a hit, I want more, and I have to have more, and my brain cannot stop thinking about it. It's a total addictive characteristic in my brain that I imagine it's like this for everyone else that smokes crack.
For sure.
You smoke crack, and there can never be enough.
Do you instantly get weird on crack?
Oh, it's instantaneous.
Yeah.
So that's when I started to smoke crack is really when and I'm sure we'll get into this further, but that's really when my legal career started to fall apart.
Gotcha.
Because when you smoke crack, I call it being stuck. Mm-hmm. Like you take that hit, and it's the weirdest, it's like a hypocrisy or something, it's a contradiction of what you want, because you get that initial feeling of the crack, and it's like, yes, I love this feeling, but it's almost instantly followed by, I can't do anything.
Right.
I can't, and everyone in my whole world and whole life, everybody that's ever known me is right outside the door.
And
They're listening. They're after me. They know what I'm doing.
Paranoid as hell.
I'm like,
absolutely.
I can't even get up to look out the peephole because I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna see the shadow from the peephole. Hey, and then I'll have to have someone else go check the outside, run security, go walk the perimeter.
Oh my goodness.
And
that's
it's just,
wild.
it's insane.
It absolutely is. Absolutely. And that's what happens with meth. I think UFOs and aliens are coming and all that stuff. So you touched on the defense lawyer and all of that. So let's take it to there. I mean, so you graduated high school, did you go straight to law school? No,
I graduated high school, and then I went to undergrad. I started off at University of Arizona, and then I transferred to Arizona State. I graduated from Arizona State with a major in political science, minor in business, and then I took a year off, and I went to work for my uncle in Pennsylvania. He's a lawyer.
Okay.
And during that time, I applied to law school and got accepted in a couple different places, but I ended up going to a law school called Thurgood Marshall School of Law. It's in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
So I went there. Law school's 3 years. I did the 3 years there, got out, and I went to work at the public defender's office. And
here in Arizona?
Here, yeah,
okay.
Maricopa County Public Defender's Office.
Got you.
And that was really sort of, I was going to go to work at the county attorney's office to be a prosecutor.
Right.
But when I was in my third year of law school, I got a DUI, which is one of those things that, along that progression of disease,
absolutely,
was a point in time where I did not have that aha moment where you think that should have been my aha moment.
Right.
Like I had a progression of, addiction leading up to that point to where now it actually interfered with my life. It caused me to commit a crime.
Right.
Well, I committed that crime because I was drunk, but I did not see it that way. I did not think I had a problem with alcohol.
Gotcha.
It was, I just shouldn't have drove. It's not I have a problem with alcohol.
Yep.
But that caused me to not be able to get a job at the county attorney's office.
Okay.
So I had to go to the public defender's office, which they were a little bit more forgiving about misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor.
Right.
So it was a misdemeanor conviction.
I have two myself.
So. Yeah. And, also I had to worry about the state bar because I was not yet licensed at that time.
Gotcha.
So when I went to get licensed, I disclosed the conviction. And
for sure.
I went through an extra layer of character and fitness to where they, they had me see I believe it was some sort of drug counselor or something.
Gotcha. And do substance abuse classes and everything.
Right, and they
that.
did an evaluation and said, okay, he's okay. And I'm sure at the time, I thought that I didn't have a problem with alcohol. So
Yeah.
all of my answers would have been, no, I don't have a problem. This was isolated. This isn't,
Right.
I don't have a problem. I just drove when I shouldn't have.
Right.
And, so I think
And I got
that's-
caught.
Yeah. Yeah.
So back then, what year was that?
That would have been 2000. And so the DUI was 2000 or 2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got mine in 05 and in 2013. So,
Oh, wow.
and back then it was like, you got to do 10 days and then you have to, my second one, they wanted to put me in jail for 4 months and all that good stuff. But I had a public defender that, got me less time, and I only had to do 48 hours. So it was good.
Yeah.
Did you have to have a breathalyzer and everything too?
No, that back then they did not require the breathalyzer yet.
Gotcha.
So I got lucky there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to have the breathalyzer the second time, and I was like, oh gosh. So take me back to the time you were a defense attorney and everything started coming down, crashing.
Yeah. I went from the public defender's office to a private firm
Okay.
called Mason and Associates, and then I went from there. I partnered with my cousin. We had a partnership, and after that, I went on my own, and I had my own firm for about a year and a half. And when I got to that place where I was on my own, I was struggling a lot with, I had been recently divorced, and I had went quickly into a rebound relationship that
Gotcha.
I got engaged right away, and that fell apart. And
And was your addiction progressing?
and
you
I
were just
feel that
keeping-
my addiction had been progressing,
Gotcha.
and it really had gotten out of control at that point because I just didn't really know how to live life on life's terms.
Right.
Anything that was, uncomfortable, I didn't want to feel that, deal with it.
Right.
I had no way to process anything in a healthy manner. My solution was always, well, I'll just get high,
And
And
it'll
it never
take
really
it all
started
away.
with I would drink. So
Right.
I never went straight to Coke or straight to meth. It would be like, okay, I'm going to go have a couple drinks. And
then you do it.
and then I would get into that stuff.
Do a little Coke. It'll sober me up a little
Yeah,
bit.
and
I get it.
and I always overshoot the mark. It's like I just enough to kind of sober me a little
Yeah.
bit, and then there I am 3 days later. I'm like,
On a bender.
I need to get more, and then now I'm drinking alcohol to balance me back down, and
Yeah.
it's it became a nightmare really quickly because, I didn't know how to stop.
Right.
So my disease had progressed to a point where and I was like a periodic, so I wasn't like every day. It would be like if I get started, I'll go on a bender for so many days. Maybe
Right.
it's 4 days, 5 days, and then I can stop for like a week or,
Gotcha.
that sort of use. And it progressed to that. So I always thought, like that tricked me. Like, I can stop, so I'm not really an
I'm not
addict.
really an
I
addict.
can manage this.
Yeah.
I can't get past step 1 of the 12 steps because, in my opinion, my life was still manageable.
Right.
I still had
You
a
were still
job.
functioning.
I still had a car. I still had a house. I
Absolutely.
still had things. So I could never admit to myself or accept in any way that I had an issue or a problem. And more so, I was scared to admit that because I'm a lawyer.
Right.
And if I admit that, I was scared that I'm going to lose my license.
Absolutely.
I'm going to lose all of those things that I had, the house, the car, the stuff that
Yeah.
is really means nothing.
It's materialistic
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And I was so scared of losing everything that that's really what caused me to lose everything because I didn't go get help.
Yeah.
My world ended up coming crashing down very quickly because the disease progressed to the point that I started not showing up to court. I started, not doing the things I would say I was going to do, such as jail visits. you know, I didn't really understand how much that meant to a
Right.
person until I was in there
Right.
as an inmate.
As an inmate.
You know, to tell somebody you're going to come down there and visit them,
Mm-hmm.
and you're their lawyer, and then you don't show up. I broke the trust of my clients. I broke
Right.
the trust of the state bar, the legal community, my family, my friends, my colleagues.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't in the moment, like I didn't care.
Yeah.
All I cared about was how can I get another client to get their money
Mm-hmm.
to keep this thing going.
Yeah.
As long as I can just, you know, maybe have somebody else show up to court for me, I can just keep getting high and I can just keep causing destruction. Although in the moment, I don't think of it as causing
Right.
destruction. I'm just trying to manage through and cope with, you know,
Everyday life.
life,
Yeah.
which is hard because, you know, there's so much fear, living in daily fear.
For sure. So to talk about this incident, like you were working, you had your own firm, and like, how does that even come about? Like you know, your client saying,
You know, it's interesting because I've thought about the moment that I was first asked to take something into the jail.
yeah,
I've gone over and over with a therapist, with a forensic psychologist, and my sponsor in AA, and my attorneys now that I work with for my reinstatement. And you know, I really just I don't know what made me the target of like, hey, let's ask our lawyer. But I think, you know, there's just some people out there that they'll test the water.
for sure.
You know, hey, we'll see if this guy will bring this in, and if he brings it in, great.
Yeah.
You know, and originally it was just brought to me as like a stack of paper.
Okay.
It was constitutional law paperwork, and so I looked at it and I thought in my mind, okay, well, I started to rationalize in my mind, well, this could be okay.
Right.
I can take this in because it's constitutional law paperwork, and maybe he's studying for his, you know, his own case, and he wants to assist in his own defense. And I'm going through all these rationalizations
Right.
in my head, but, you know, if I'm being honest about it, and I'm able to look at it in retrospect now, that's it's.
Yeah.
Can I say bullshit?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
bullshit. It's bullshit. I used it as an excuse in my head because, you know, what I did was wrong. I knew better. I knew I should not take this paperwork in there. I didn't know what was in the paperwork. I found out later that there was heroin had been flattened out. Black tar heroin had been flattened out, put in between a couple of the pages, and
Gotcha.
it was like hidden in there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I just thought, well, there's nothing wrong with it. And me, I had been so, at that point, when I was asked to do that for the first time in 2008, I was so morally and spiritually bankrupt
Gotcha.
from my addiction that, you know,
You were willing to do anything.
yeah, I was willing to do anything, you know? I mean, if I'm willing to go at my house and break the law at night and be sitting in my room smoking crack cocaine,
Right.
like my respect for the law my addiction had overcome pretty much anything in my life
Gotcha.
that had any morality. I was willing to do it, you
For
know?
sure.
And I didn't know how to say no.
Gotcha.
You know, like there was
A
there's-
people pleaser type thing.
yeah, I'm a people pleaser type
Me
person.
too.
I had these boundaries that when I'm in addiction, they just sort of like they're gone.
They're
It's
gone.
like ask me to do something and I do it because I want you to like me.
Yeah.
I fear rejection and
So it wasn't just like one time. Like you did this multiple times.
yes.
You just didn't. Yeah.
I
Okay.
did it multiple times.
Got you.
I did do it over the course of 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly how many times it was, but it was several times that I did it. And, you know, each time I knew, like, even even if there wasn't anything in there, even if there wasn't, if it was just some stack of paper and it had nothing to do, there was no hidden anything in there, it's not something I should have done.
Right.
You know, and that's where I was wrong, is like, I knew better than to take something in from a client's family to one of my clients. It's just not good practice. Mm-hmm. And for reasons that have now become, you know, part of my life, I knew better. I shouldn't have done it. And, you know, it's hard to really look at it and think, well, you know, I did it because I was on drugs.
Right.
You know, because I think that there's so many different layers to the reasons why. Mm-hmm. Because and I love this page in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. It says, it's page 34, it says, alcohol is but a symptom. We had to get down to causes and conditions.
Right.
And for me, it's, whenever I reference the big book, I'm always thinking of it in terms of alcohol and drugs.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I had a drug problem. I'm an alcoholic and an addict, but I have to figure out, like, why was I that way? Like, what was I doing? Like, what were and it's like those character defects, the selfishness, the self-pity, the fear, the greed.
Right.
You know, I had so much pressure as an attorney, and this client is paying me not to bring that in, but he's making a monthly payment.
Right.
And so it's like, I just didn't know any other way. I thought, okay, I just need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So
you get caught, and
caught.
you brought drugs into Maricopa County, and
Yes.
And what happened? Like,
man, yeah, it was like overnight my life changed.
yeah.
And I remember on my way to court, I just stopped to get a pack of cigarettes, and I lit up, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and there was like a Suzuki behind me with red and blue lights. I'm like, what is that? Like, why is that Suzuki have red and blue? And then all of a sudden, all these cars converged, and
So they had been watching you.
oh, they've been watching me for several months.
Wow.
Yeah, they were on to me.
Gotcha.
They never actually caught me like bringing anything in, but it was, you know, people were telling on me in the jail and all of that stuff. So they got to me, and you know, within 24 hours, like, my practice was shut down. I was in jail. They set a $500,000 bond on me.
Okay.
And if released, then to an ankle monitor. And it was really just a life-changing moment for me. I wish that it was my aha moment. I wish it was that moment where I said, okay,
I'm never going to do this again.
I'm never going to do this again. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a drug addict. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that, you know, it would be pretty, like, I just thought, okay, yes, I said those words. I said, yeah, I have a problem with drugs. Like, part of me was relieved. Like,
Right.
when I got arrested, I had so much on my plate, so many cases that I was dealing with, and I was overextended. Like,
You were
I was
spreading yourself
I
too
was, for the
thin.
most part, broke, because as
Okay.
fast as I was making money, I was spending it on drugs and gambling.
Okay.
And because gambling is the only thing you can do at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Absolutely.
You know, the casinos, like,
For sure.
casino and a pool hall.
Yeah.
You know, and then at that time there was only like maybe 1 or 2 pool halls. It was still 24 hours. There used to be many of them.
Yeah.
But
So you get arrested and you're in county jail. I mean, how is that? How's
man,
that
I saw one of my
feeling?
clients, and I was like, I'm in stripes and chains, you know, and I heard they're bringing back the stripes.
Yeah.
But I'm in stripes and chains, and I see one of my clients. He's like, hey, what's
you
up?
do?
And I'm like, well, hey, you know me, like, you already knew I was a criminal. Come on, man. And he's like, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of my clients knew, you know, that
That you were a drug
I was
addict.
using drugs. And I was
Gotcha.
a drug addict. They would often try to give me drugs.
For sure.
You know, and I never took drugs from clients.
Gotcha.
Just to be clear, I had a specific circle of friends that I grew up with that I trusted to bring me drugs.
Gotcha.
And I know, so I wouldn't have to go get them, and I could hide in my house.
Yeah.
Not have to see anybody. But yeah, I saw a few clients in there, and they'd be like, one guy was really pissed. He was like, "Hey man, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you're my lawyer. Like, what now?
Now
what am I
what?
going to do? I paid
What am I
you.
gonna do?"
I paid you, man." I mean, there was clients who were really pissed off. I made an amends recently with one of the gals, and man, my sponsor told me, be ready for somebody to push back on this.
For
Not
sure.
everybody's going to be like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm glad you got your life together and your shit together."
Yeah.
Like, this client was like, "Hey, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pissed off. You left me high and dry.
Yeah.
You took my money, and I got convicted. You were supposed to help me. And you, like, regardless of my drug use, I still consider myself a pretty damn good lawyer.
Right.
And I got good results, and probably would have been better if I wasn't on drugs.
Right.
But, you know, she really put it into perspective for me how much, you know, the kind of trust that I was supposed to provide, and you know, how I let her down, and how
Right.
and just that amends helped me to understand how many other clients probably felt too,
For
that
sure.
I didn't talk to, you know,
Yeah.
that didn't, you know, necessarily have a bar complaint against me, or you know, just people that I knew. Like, it's a really awful thing that I did.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in a position of trust with the public and the court, and I violated that.
So you end up going to prison.
I did.
And how long did you get in prison?
So in prison, I initially got 4 years with a 7-year probation tail.
Okay.
And then while I was in prison, they had called me to testify against one of my co-defendants, and I was not cooperative with that. So they gave me 3 more years
Oh my
consecutive.
gosh.
So I actually did like 5 years, 9 months, and so many days. So I did
Okay.
almost 6, followed by the 7-year tail.
Gotcha.
And I got off the 7-year tail after 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So going to prison, I mean, you were obviously a drug addict, and
Yeah.
you know, how was that?
So I got to prison by the time. So I spent 9 months in county, but by the time I got to prison, I didn't consider myself a drug addict. I didn't consider myself anything. I had, you know, I was isolated in county for quite some time, so I didn't use.
Okay.
And
Well, that's good.
yeah, and when I got to prison, I didn't use. And so I thought I was cured.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't used in 5 years.
Right.
Like, I'm sober.
Yeah.
And they brought AA meetings into where I
Yeah.
was at, and I was like, yeah, I got stacks of certificates.
Where
from
were you
AA.
locked up at?
I was locked up initially in Florence,
Okay.
and then at
Lewis?
Lewis. I was there. I was on Bachman unit. I've been on
I like
on
Bachman.
Bachman. Where else have I been? I've been to, was that Barchi? Steiner?
Okay.
Barchi?
Steiner. Yeah.
And I've also been to Eagle Point.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been all over Lewis.
Yeah. I'm actually going to go out to Eagle Point. I'm doing it. You know, they house the juveniles there
Oh, do they?
at Eagle Point now. So they have a spot at Eagle Point for the SMI clients. That's who, the SMI inmates.
Yeah.
And Brandon Lee actually built an Art of Our Soul on Eagle Point. And then they also have the juveniles that are basically going to prison after they age out. And I'm going to do an outreach thing there and bring them presents for Christmas. And
That is fantastic.
yeah, so I just, you know, I love it. I love it. Volunteering and like going in to the jails and to the prisons is like my passion, you know?
You know, that's so wonderful, because I would love to be able to do something like that.
Absolutely.
It's important work. When you're there, you know, to see somebody come in and give you some hope that, you know, there's life after prison,
Right.
there's nothing like it. Because, you know, for me, I was in there and I had an education, I had work history, I knew how to pay bills, I had all this life experience, and I would see young men in there that were like 20 years old, 22 years
their
old.
whole life is-
And they didn't know any of that, and they didn't even have a GED, and it's like they were such good young men that they had such good hearts, and you could tell like this is the type of person that as long as they can stay sober, they are going to be a positive impact. They are going to recover their life. They're going to do well. But as soon as they get out onto the street and they don't have anything and they have no hope and they have no tools,
Right.
they revert back to bad behavior because that's all they know. And it's like when they can see somebody else that maybe has been through what they've been through, has gone to prison, and then is there talking to them, telling them, hey, you can do this.
Right.
I did this.
Yeah.
Like, here's what you need to do. Just follow this plan.
For sure.
And you can have what I have too.
Absolutely.
And there's that's what they need, you know, because they don't have that. At least not when I was there. I know they had a reentry program, but they didn't even require me to take it.
Wow.
Like, I didn't even take it.
So you do your time and you get out, and obviously, I mean, you lost everything while you were in prison, and what does life look like? Were you married? Do you have kids?
I have a son.
Okay.
Well, now I'm married. I have my son that I had when I went into prison.
Gotcha.
He had just been born. I'm not with my son's mother anymore, but I'm now remarried, and I have 3 stepdaughters, 28, 19, and 12,
Gotcha.
and my son is 17.
Okay.
And life is very different because when I got arrested, I was a single guy.
Right.
I had no strings, no nothing,
Nothing
and I was
attached.
just off running amok.
Yeah.
But now,
Living that bachelor life.
yeah, living the bachelor life. But now, I have three daughters and a son, and they are, they're pretty much my whole world. You know,
Yeah.
I have my work life and my family life, and I just, I'm so grateful for it because
Right.
my life is so different. Like, it's so amazing what the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous have done for me.
Yeah. So you said, you didn't have an aha moment when all this happened.
Yeah.
And so you get out, and what happens?
Well, I struggled on probation.
Okay.
Because I thought that, I've got an education. I'm Jason Keller.
Yeah.
I can do.
I can do
still have
anything.
that. I still had that ego and that
Gotcha.
arrogance, and I still had not. Like, I really didn't take responsibility. I was still that victim. Like, this is everybody else's fault.
Right.
This isn't my fault. This happened to me, not because of me.
Right.
And so I didn't have that thought process yet. So when I got out, I struggled. I tried to get into sales, and that didn't really work. And
Yeah.
I just really couldn't find my groove
Niche,
again.
yeah.
And I, it's hard to find a job as a felon,
Absolutely.
At least for me it was. I couldn't find one right away. And I just thought, okay, well, I'll just try to do some legal work as a paralegal. And I worked for different attorneys that I knew. And, it just really was a very hard thing for me to do still at that point, because I still hadn't accepted, what happened and who I was. So I still had that attitude, like I was better than what I was doing.
Right.
Like, I'm this paralegal, but I shouldn't have to be doing this. Like, I shouldn't have to be taking, a job from a person that I think I'm better than.
Yeah.
And I had this really shitty attitude.
Gotcha.
And so when things didn't go my way, it led to, well, let me back up. So I thought I'm cured of my drug problem. This
Right.
was a drug problem, not an alcohol
Nah.
problem.
Okay.
So I kept drinking, and I knew that I wasn't being tested for alcohol,
Gotcha.
because I'm familiar with TASC and the panel and what it looks
For
like,
sure.
how much money. If I'm paying this much, this is the panel I'm getting.
Yeah.
And so I knew I wasn't being tested for alcohol initially.
Gotcha.
So I drank.
Okay.
And then I smoked weed
Okay.
too, because I think there was, if you had a card, you could smoke
Absolutely.
weed. So, and I thought, okay, well, this is legal stuff. I'm not actually breaking the law. I'm totally violating my probation by drinking.
Yeah.
But
People don't think that.
But
either.
I didn't think that. I
Yeah.
thought, well, it's all legal, so
Right.
I'm not using drugs, so it's okay. But what happened is what eventually happens is, at some point, that level of alcohol intake led to a relapse on drugs.
Gotcha.
So I tried to continue to, sort of manipulate my way through probation and not address the problem.
The problems.
Even though, probation would be like, okay, well, you're going to do the STAR program at Taros, or you're going to go here and see this person, or you're going to do this. And
Right.
it's like I was required to do it. So
You're going to do it.
I
and
don't
get 'em
have a
off.
problem,
Yeah.
guys. I'm not a drug addict.
Yeah.
I just made a mistake.
Right.
I'm not a drug addict.
Right.
So how can I ever help myself if I
Right.
can't sit there and admit it?
Yeah.
So it never worked.
Okay.
But there came a crossroads
Yeah.
that my PO said, you're going to jail or you're gonna go to inpatient.
Okay.
So I went to Crossroads.
Wow.
I went to Crossroads East. I checked in
What year was this?
2017.
Okay. It's the year I got sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, Crossroads changed my life.
Really?
Absolutely. I met this guy, Lionel Estrada.
Love
Awesome
Lionel.
guy.
Yes.
Awesome guy. There was a lot of good people in there. It was just such a good program.
It's a great.
And, for a guy that doesn't have, I think I was on Access Insurance at the
Okay.
time. They take Access. And, man, there was some guys in there that just, I'll never forget. And the meetings that I went to, that men's meeting on Tuesday night,
Tuesday night
8
men's
p-
stag.
8 men's meeting, 8 p.m.
Yep.
The thing is great. I really, I learned a lot there, because it's not like being in prison, but it's kind of like this, it's sort of a similar thing because I have to get back to basics with it.
For sure.
I wasn't familiar with the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, and that introduced me to it. Plus, it's a little bit faith-based there at Crossroads East.
Yeah.
Which, God is the most important thing in my life
For sure.
at this point. But that place, I managed to get sober there,
Okay.
at least initially. I wish it would have been my aha moment. But
You had to go back out and test the waters a little bit more.
I did. I had to continue to experiment because
How long did you have sober after you did Crossroads East?
I had sober, I think, almost 2 years.
Okay.
So that's how I got off probation. So
Gotcha.
Crossroads, by going there, I kind of figured things out for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And it allowed me to get through like a year and a half of testing clean.
Gotcha.
And I was like, okay, now I'm off probation and I've been clean.
Oh, I can
Maybe I'm
celebrate.
okay. Maybe
I
I'm
can
okay.
Celebrate.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. I'm going to celebrate.
Yep.
I think the day I got off probation, I went and got drunk.
Yeah.
Like immediately. I was like, okay, this is it. I deserve this.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't an addict. I wasn't an
Right.
alcoholic. I was like, here I was. I lost a career. I went to prison. I lost everything. And I even like got out on probation and still couldn't stop. But I wasn't an addict.
Right.
There's no way. I'm not an
Right.
addict. I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Even though all of these things like have happened in my life, there's just no way
Yeah.
I could possibly be an addict. It's okay if I
Denial.
have a drink.
It's okay.
It's so crazy the way
Yeah.
that this disease works. It's like, when they say it centers in your mind, it does because it
does.
tricks you. Like it wants you to believe it's not there.
For sure.
Because that's how it kills you.
Yeah.
Or makes you miserable. So, yeah, so I had some time and then I decided, yeah, I'm okay. So I'm going to start drinking again. And then, I really just, I leaned into alcohol and I drank heavier than I'd ever drank in my life. And I started
Gotcha.
drinking to black out and, because I wanted it a lot like I do my drugs. Like I would take double talls and slam them.
Yeah.
Because I want that alcohol to get into me as quickly as
As quick.
possible. And
Hook it up to my veins. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So when did you have your aha moment where you actually got sober this time?
So my aha moment this time was I went on a family vacation, and interestingly enough, it wasn't like an aha moment where I hit this like ultimate rock bottom.
For sure.
Where I was like on the street, penniless, and
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's my next move. I went on a family vacation. I somehow, even in my alcoholism, I managed to find a woman that would marry me, that had 3 stepdaughters that I love, and they love me back, and
Right.
I have their respect today. This family vacation I went on, we went to an island called Roatan.
Okay.
It's off of Honduras.
I've heard of it.
And
Beautiful.
man, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Definitely on the bucket list.
Yeah, you need to go there.
Yeah.
You should.
Absolutely.
And I went there, and I just got really hammered.
Okay.
I think it was my wife's birthday. We went there. It was a birthday trip for her and another one of our like neighborhood friends. It was her birthday, so we went kind of like for the 2 gals' birthdays, like my wife's and the other guy's wife, and we were all there, and I was like so drunk that it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
And, I was trying to fight everybody at dinner, and my wife left the dinner table, and people were telling me they wanted to punch me in the face. And
Oh, man.
I was like, I fell off we had to take this like little boat to dinner, and I like fell out of the boat because I was so drunk.
Yeah.
And so I'm at dinner, and I'm all drenched. I'm soaking wet.
falling.
So I'm like taking off my clothes, and I'm like, it was awful. I mean, in the moment, I thought, that everybody should just.
Did your wife was she like, I'm done. I'm not doing this with you?
She was upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very upset.
Is she a normie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she can
Gotcha.
drink, and it's like she's one of those people like she can have 2 glasses of wine and that's it.
And
It's
that's
like,
it. Must be nice.
Yeah.
I would have been 10 years sober now, but I didn't think I was an alcoholic. And
Yeah.
in 2015, I had gotten sober, and I was like, yeah, I can just drink. I had like 9 months sober. And
Yeah.
again, it's fine. And 1 shot of Fireball leads to a gallon, and I'm getting my stomach pumped, and it's, disgusting.
Yeah.
So horrible. So did you go to treatment when you got sober this time?
No, so this time I did not go to treatment.
Okay.
I walked into West Valley Fellowship.
Gotcha. Off of I-10 and Dysart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I started. That I have a meeting there every Monday night. It's a big book study that I chair. I switch off with another sponsee brother that I have. We alternate months. It was my meeting, but that's where I walked in because I knew from Crossroads
Right.
that Alcoholics Anonymous worked.
Yeah.
It works for
You knew
most.
what you needed to do.
Yeah.
Same thing with me. 2017, I didn't go to treatment this time. 2015, I did. 2017, I was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And I dove into those meetings with both feet,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's what you have to do. I figured, like, I knew there was something missing before, and I just sat in the rooms for like a couple sessions, and I listened, and I found a guy that I liked what he would say.
right.
And, it was all about being thorough. And I felt that like Crossroads probably could have worked long term for me had I been thorough. I don't think I was very thorough. Like my sponsor this time that I got through West Valley Fellowship, he really encouraged me to be thorough, and he did accept nothing less.
Right. So stopping with the victim mentality and everything like that, and just getting straight up honest.
Yeah.
Same thing with me.
Yeah,
You know?
you have to get rid of all of that, smash the ego, and like really dive deep into like
Absolutely.
the stuff. And it really helps to, it's a constant work in progress. So like initially, my sobriety journey was like, okay, staying sober one day at a time.
Right.
You know, and I still look at my life one day at a time, but early on, it's like one day at a time. I'm fighting to stay sober today. But as it evolved in time, you know, in doing the step work, it was like, okay, now I'm sober. The obsession to drink and use is removed. Now I can like get down to the nitty gritty.
Right.
Now I can work on this
You
stuff.
can peel
Now
those layers back.
When I started making the amends, and, you know, when I went through the 4 step and I did the 5th step, and then I got to 8 and 9, really, that's what really started to lift all of the stuff from me. And that's when I still had some of that victim mentality until I got through the 9th step.
Right.
Because the 9th step helped me to see, you know, I know I can write down in the 4th step, you know, what's my part, and I can write it down, that's fine. But there's nothing for me that was greater than sitting down with somebody and making the amends and being like, hey, have I left anything out? Or, you know, what was it like being my brother or being my sister?
Yeah.
You know, and they start to tell you, then I could really see the damage.
Did you go and make an amends to Maricopa County?
I made amends to the legal profession as a whole.
Gotcha.
So I did a continuing legal education class that I did just this past summer. And in that class, I made an amends to the profession as a whole. I have made amends to judges. I made amends to the detective that arrested me.
I love it.
And he came to me from Alcoholics. Like this, I don't know if there's time, but I always like to talk about this because this is how I know that God works in my life.
Yeah.
I got my sponsor. My sponsor said, we're going to a meeting in Sun City.
Okay.
I said, what do I want to go to Sun City for? He said, we're just doing it. So we went there. He said, get someone's number. So I wasn't going to do it, actually, but he has like 4 sponsees at any given time.
Gotcha.
So I went with all these guys, and I saw they were getting numbers, and I'm like, okay, I better get a number.
Do it.
And so it's just that willingness to do it. So I got the number.
Sure.
The guy's 86 years old.
Oh my gosh.
He got my number too. I was just going to I wasn't going to call the number.
Right.
Because this is like, I must have been like maybe 4 or 5 months sober. And he starts calling me every morning early. And I'm like, this guy. But for some reason I would pick up.
Yeah.
And he's just like, hey, how you doing? I'm Jack. He's 86. I'm like, hey, Jack, how you doing? And I still talk to him today. I talked to him today, in fact. Every single day I talk to this man, every day.
It's like accountability.
Yeah, but he told me, he said, hey, I want you to come to this meeting in Surprise. It's at the Riverboat.
Okay.
It's off of Bell and the 303. And he said, it's at 9 a.m. on a Sunday. And I said, okay, well, I can do that, but I'm going to have to go to a different church service now. Mm-hmm. So I went to a different church service instead. And when I went to that different church service, there was the detective.
Wow.
And I looked at him, and he looked at me. And after he got up, we both got up after the Mass was over, and I looked at him, and I'm like, hey, I said his name. And he goes, I thought that was you. And we had a nice conversation.
Absolutely.
And I thought, man, of all the things that had to line up for me to be in that church with that man at that time, this cannot be a coincidence.
Right.
It
Nothing
just
in
cannot
God's
be.
world happens by mistake.
Cannot be.
I believe that.
Yeah. Just like how I ran into you.
Right. You never even go to that meeting.
I never go to that meeting.
I just so happened to be there cutting Luca's hair. And
it's just amazing. But I didn't make an amends with him then, but I made an amends with him about, I want to say, a year later.
Okay.
Because I kept going to that church, but I really didn't see him for a long time.
Gotcha.
And then I did run into him again, and he was kind enough to do an amends with me. And it really, that one was another one of those ones where you think it's going to go a certain way, and you think,
it goes completely opposite.
And it goes the complete opposite way. And it really made me understand, from his perspective, like what I looked like to him and who I was. And, what it meant to him for me to show up in that church. Like for me, it was like this moment of reconciliation, and like I was making like good, and I was like showing him like, hey, I'm better, I'm a good person. But for him, it was more like, this is messing up my peace. Like, I did not expect to see you here.
Right.
Like, I don't want you in my space, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I arrested you. You're
Right.
a criminal.
Right.
And so that was a little enlightening. Again, a reminder of the damage that I
That
caused.
we cause. For
And,
sure.
how he feels, it's more about him than about me.
Right.
But it allows me to see what I did. And now my side of the street is cleared with him.
Absolutely.
And now I see him all the time at my gym.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he started popping up at my gym.
You're
He's in
like,
my
what
space
the
for some reason. This detective that slapped iron bracelets on
Is
me.
he still in law enforcement and
Yeah.
everything? Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He totally
I
is.
love it. What does redemption look like for you today? I mean, obviously you're sober. When's your sobriety date?
January 23rd, 2023.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of time.
A little bit of time.
Yeah.
I'll be working on 3 years.
Okay.
So
I love that.
yeah, I mean, I really hadn't had a lot of sobriety, extended period, except when I was younger. And then I had my prison time where I was sober.
Yeah.
But that I've come to determine doesn't really count because it's a controlled environment. But
Understandable.
yeah,
'Cause
redemption.
You can get a lot of drugs in prison.
There's
so.
a lot of drugs there. There's so many drugs. Like there's
sure.
drugs every weekend. I could,
Yeah.
we could go into that.
Absolutely.
There's
I know.
definitely, it's a very easy to get drugs there.
For
So,
sure. But what does life look like today?
Life is amazing today because God in my life, He works daily in my life. I'm very disciplined. I wake up and I do the same thing every day.
Gotcha.
I have a routine that I stick to. I talk to an alcoholic every day. I pray, I meditate every single morning. I ask for guidance. What's the next right step, the next right thought or action? I pray to be, how can I be of service today? I have the respect of my children, my wife. My life, I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
And, the things that I did, the people that I did them with, I'm just really grateful that I'm still here. I believe that God has a purpose for me.
For sure.
My life has done a complete 180. I went from struggling to, I have so much work I don't even know how I get it done in a week. I'm a paralegal, and I'm happy to be a paralegal. I have the respect of my colleagues. I have many lawyers that seek out my counsel and advice, and my work product is great. I'm able to take care of my parents now in their elderly years. I'm able to be a father.
You have all the materialistic things and more. you
Yeah,
know?
and the materialistic things, the thing is, I have, those aren't as important to me today. I have peace of mind.
Yeah.
I'm not stressed out about where am I going to get my next
Fix,
drink, or I'm not stressed out about like, oh my God, I just went on one last night and now what am I going to do? I spent all my money. Who knows that I did this? Like,
Yeah.
I'm worried. I don't have to live like that anymore. And it's just so wonderful that I have these great things going on in my life that I can even talk to lawyers and things.
That's what my next question was, is are you involved in helping others who are reentering into society after incarceration?
Yeah. So I tried to do some of that work with a couple different places many years ago, but it never really panned out for me. And I believe it's because it wasn't meant to be then.
Right.
And now what I'm doing is I have applied to be a volunteer
Gotcha.
at Lewis Complex.
Okay.
With there's a gentleman from the AA program. His name is Blake. So I put in my application to
Yes.
get approved there. And so I'm hoping for the best.
Yes.
I also thought maybe I could apply at the jails,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't done that yet. I don't know who to contact about that.
I can give you the contact information for CMA
Okay.
because that's what I'm badged. I'm badged for jail and prison
Okay.
through CMA, and
All
I
right.
utilize it.
Yeah.
I say it's 2 for 1. Like I go into the jails every Sunday and I
Beautiful.
take a meeting into Estrella to the girls.
Yes.
And then I go to Perryville. And then I do these resource events and I've been to Lewis. I was just at Bachman and we did a resource fair there and it was absolutely amazing. And like I said, like that is my passion right now is going
Yeah.
into the jails, into the prisons because
Yeah.
they're so vulnerable and just, hearing your story and like what an amazing story to overcome and now be able to get in there. And you will. You'll be
Yeah.
able to get in there.
I think I will too eventually. I mean, it's whenever God wants it to happen.
Right.
So in the meantime, I speak to lawyers. I do a presentation on boundaries with clients.
Got you.
And so I.
And how amazing is that?
It's
Like,
amazing. I had 1,000 people. that
Wow.
watched me and
Wow.
got credit for ethics, for continuing legal education. I've also spoken at the Arizona State University Law School,
Gotcha.
which I'll be next Monday. I'm speaking there again.
That's amazing.
And so hopefully they get something out of it.
For sure.
And I started an AA meeting for lawyers
Okay.
so that we have a safe space as
talk about
professionals.
things.
Yeah, and it's not just for lawyers. So it's lawyers, paralegals, legal paraprofessionals, legal document preppers, judges, people retired from the legal profession.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times there are certain things that within the profession that maybe you're struggling with or that you want to share, but you can't share like in a regular meeting,
Right.
because of your position. And it's a lot like, there are some police officers and people that I think they have their own meetings too sometimes
Yeah.
because you can't, if I
We
think
have
if
a meeting at the spot on Saturdays at 2 p.m. and it's for behavioral health.
yeah.
Like they need somewhere that they're not with their clients and they're able to talk about
Exactly.
things and like get shit off their chest.
Yeah.
So that's a really good meeting and it's a closed meeting that
Yeah.
they can,
So you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just recently started my meeting about 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
I have like 5 people show up every
Hey,
week, but it's
even if
listed
it's
on the
just
State Bar
one,
website.
right.
It's on there.
Even if it's just one, like how amazing is that though? And
Yeah.
like I said, going back and like speaking everything that you've went through and now what you're doing to better it, like it's amazing.
I think it is amazing. I'm so grateful to be a part of like something like that to help other people. When I see people like yourself and I see guys like Tracy
Yeah.
and his wife, I just want to, I'll just give a quick shout out to him. I don't know if
Yeah.
he'll watch this, but
Absolutely.
man, Tracy Kovach, inspirational guy.
Absolutely.
I look up to that guy. There's other people that I see that are just doing things like this, like you. When I see you, you're just, it's such important work because,
Thank you.
it's people like you, you're saving lives.
Thank you.
You're saving lives. I don't know how many you've saved so far, but you're saving lives. It's important work. And man, I get emotional about it because it's like I've just, I've been through so much. And when I see people helping other people, it's amazing because I think that's what the program of Alcoholics Anonymous has taught me is like, what's the point? It's about service, man. Like helping others.
Helping others.
We got to
And
get
I
out of
know
ourselves.
God saved us for a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn my pain into purpose.
Yeah.
And I'm going to help people. I don't care if you're my ex-husband or, my ex-boyfriend. Like, I will help anybody,
Yeah.
and I'm passionate about it. And I
Yeah.
can see you are too,
Yeah.
And if anybody is struggling, what would you say to them?
I would say, don't be afraid to ask for help,
Right.
because
For sure.
that was my issue. Is I was always afraid to ask for help. I thought I could do it on my own.
Yeah.
And once I was willing to, accept help, and I was willing, that's what made the difference for me. So
For sure.
yeah, if someone's struggling, don't be afraid to ask for help. Walk into a meeting. There's tons of them everywhere.
Absolutely.
Every hour, on the hour. They're all over the valley somewhere,
Yes.
Um,
Before we close, I just want to, if somebody is looking to get in contact with you, how can they reach you, find you, Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, so, you can reach me, the best way is you can reach me by my Instagram.
Okay.
My Instagram, I have a paralegal Instagram.
I love it.
So
I'll get it added into this, and we can do
it's,
that.
I don't know my tag on it. It's Prime. I'm Prime_paralegal.
Awesome.
That's me. So that's probably the best way to get in touch with me is through my Instagram. I'm not on really anything else, but
I got
I'm
you.
on Facebook too.
Yeah.
but-
Well, I really appreciate you taking time and coming here and just telling your story, and I love what you're doing. Keep doing it, and you're going to go into the jails and the prisons.
Thank you so much.
You are, absolutely. If you're struggling, reach out. Like Jason said, you are not alone. You can come and see us at thecrossroadsinc.org or come to our corporate office at 2002 East Osborne Road. We are open Monday through Saturday, and we take all access plans and commercial insurance. So again, Jason, thank you so much for coming. And with that, I pass. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Recovery on Air, the official podcast of Crossroads Addiction Rehabilitation, with your host, Christin Day. Join us next time as we continue our candid discussions about addiction and recovery. Listen 24/7 anytime to this or any of our shows online at starworldwidenetworks.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.